This is regarding something that can create a revolution in the way we learn in today's place. So if you see what we are building in collaboration with the Idea Incubator Club is something called as Learn Apart. And this is the community of top 1% builders. Builders here, when I mean builders, I mean the people who are building the startups, the people who are building the businesses right from their college. That is Learn Apart. And as you can see, this is the launch event of one of the most researched and one of the best projects we have built from the last 9 months of research, that is Project Vishwakarma. Nivas will further introduce you to that project, but I will take over the stage to introduce you to what Learn Apart actually is and how will it be helpful for all of you. Basically, the problem today is every one of us, wherever I go, it's been almost 3 to 4 years, I am either working on some startup or even building something of my own. And I think I'm privileged enough that I work with various people across the industry, in the IT sector, also in the finance. I have closely observed that 3 types of leverage is something that we need. Now, leverage is basically the early advantage one has. Right? If you are someone who is really interested about building startups, just like me, wherever I go, wherever I introduce myself, I am always asked, how are you able to do all this at this particular age? I am 21 years old. I am pursuing my BTech second year right now in CSB. As I always get this question from the people, that what is something that motivated you or inspired you to do this? I always wish there should be some stage, there should be something that a system that I should know that I can present to all of you guys so that you can also start from somewhere else, right? So, as you can see, there are 3 types of leverage a founder needs to have. And the very first is the people leverage. People leverage is basically the community and the people which are around you, which are helping you to grow, which are helping you to think beyond a certain level. If you look at what happens in today's engineering days or in the today's college days, everyone is not thinking beyond a certain level. Everyone wants to get placed in one particular 3 to 4 LPA job role, right? We are not exposed to all these 3 types of leverages. And that is where the biggest problem lies. So, as you can see, as I have presented, the 3 types of leverages are people leverage, product leverage, and content leverage. So, people leverage means the people who are across you, who are around you, with whom you are building something. Then is the product leverage. Like, how many of you are aware about SaaS, software as a service? How many of you know SaaS? Okay, so how many of you know what is Plus? Have you ever heard about Plus? Anyone? Okay, so Plus is a SaaS product basically. So what they did is they built an app, they built an application, and with the content leverage, they built a distribution for them, made an app for one time and sold it for 100,000 lakhs of people. For you to get all the leverage, you need to have the culture over here, right? If you go to IITs or any tier 1 institutions, culture is the biggest thing that plays, the biggest factor that plays the most important role in everyone's growth. And here, culture is something that lacks. And we at Learn Apart are building that culture. So what we are trying to build is basically a platform for everyone who has no background in startups, who has no background in business, and also at the same time wants to do something of their own. So this place is the perfect place for you, because once you get into the community, you will have the access to the top engineers, top builders across the country, the founders across the country. The network I was able to get in the last 3 to 4 years, I have used all those resources, all those money, everything I built. I used everything to build this particular startup, that is Learn Apart. So when you are in the community, here you will get to interact with the people who are literally building Gemini, who are literally building OpenAI, like the chat GPT and stuff like this. So you will be interacting with those kind of people. You will be exposed to the ideas from Y Combinator, right? Y Combinator every year releases almost 10 to 15 ideas, business ideas, problem statements which are really existing in today's world, and you will be exposed to those ideas. You will get the resources over there. if you want to build anything, if you have an idea and if you want to get funded, we also have a group of investors with us, the venture capitalists. We are building a culture where you learn everything from the first principles. This is also one of the major questions you might get into your mind, that why we are talking about startups and why is Learn pushing people to think about building businesses. This is very interesting because you see, in today's world, if you go back 20 years ago, then world came across a very interesting breakthrough, and that is internet. Facebook, Apple, Google, all these companies launched, and at that time, that was the biggest breakthrough. Whoever leveraged the internet at that time built the big companies today. If you look at Infosys was started from that breakthrough itself. So any company which is a billion-dollar company today started from a particular breakthrough. And today is the best time for you to start a business because today we are going through the AI breakthrough, the AI revolution. And if you use that revolution, if you leverage that particular opportunity, maybe you can do the next unicorn. It is as easy as that. But again, you need to be in the community. If you are in the community and if you know how to leverage the resources properly, then eventually you can make it. So the thing is, this time today is the best time for everyone to do it. As I said, AI breakthrough is something that is changing the world. If you look what is happening in the job market today, for example, last month TCS fired around 12,000 employees from their company, from Hyderabad itself. After that, many companies like Google and all are laying off people since last 1 year, right? The only reason they are claiming is AI. But I think there are many other reasons as well, but we cannot miss on what they are talking about. So AI is a very big reason companies are laying off their workforce. It's very obvious that in 2000s, during that internet revolution, those companies, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, those companies needed someone who can do their repetitive tasks, who can do their repetitive jobs, like software development, app development. So India produced the services to them. India exported the services to them. Right from that time, since 20 years, India is producing the services, whereas US and China are building on innovating something new. India doesn't own any of their own product like ChatGPT, Gemini. India has no such revolutionary product with them, right? The only reason is we were always focused on service, exporting services. Now, when the AI came into the market, AI replaced all the service-based jobs. That is why when more than 80% of the people in India who are looking at who are preparing for the service-based jobs, all those jobs are now replaced with AI. And I think in the next coming 2 to 3 years, most of them will be removed. So as you can see, most jobs are disappearing. Placements are short-term safety nets. Obviously, they are very short-term safety nets because you don't get new things to learn. If you are in a service-based company, if you are somewhere where you are doing a repetitive task, there are very less options and there are very less chances for you to learn new things. After that, the only sustainable age is adaptability. That is learning how to learn. Learning how to adapt, learning the human skills more than the technical skills. Because every one of us will learn C, C++, Python, Java, etc. But really capable of working in a team of intellectuals, in a team who are building something new. Right? So having human skills will give you the best advantage. Then comes the biggest opportunity is life transition. As I said, we are going through a very interesting transition, that is the world is transitioning towards AI. And if we leverage this opportunity, then it is going to be the best time for us in the coming time. Alright, so how is Learn Apart tackling all these things, right? So here are these 4 pillars you should come across, you should read it. So, as I said, you as an individual will join, let's say a project in Learn Apart, that is the project Vishwakarma, which is the very foundational project. Without that you cannot begin in your entrepreneurial or startup building journey. You have to introduce you to that project Vishwakarma in mind. So, the thing is, whenever you got something to build, you need to, like we are tackling that particular problem with these 4 pillars. The very first thing is project-based learning. Whenever you will be in our community, you will be exposed to the really interesting projects that are going on in the world. right? The real world projects you can solve, the real problems you can solve. Then, after working on those projects, as I said, you will be exposed to the community of thinkers, the people who will be giving you the feedback, the people who will be relating your work. So, community that is very important. Then comes the workshops by professionals. As you are in the community, as I said, the professionals from the top companies in the world will come to you and they will present you with the cutting edge technology like AI, Web3, whatever is happening today. And the next thing is the NFT based certificates. So this is nothing but a very interesting form of certification we are offering. We are in fact the 8th company in the entire world which is offering the NFT based certificates. This is something that I will tell you what is NFT. I think many of you know about NFT, right? NFT is something that is we can store on blockchain. It is a technology Web3. So what we are offering is our certificates are registered on blockchain. Once you are done with your course, once you are done with your process of learning, you will get the certificates which are registered on the blockchain, which are the NFT based, non-fungible token based certificates for you. Now these certificates are the most secure and the most encrypted certificates which can never be copied. Like let's say you are doing, you have completed a course on Coursera or let's say Udemy, right, or any other company, and you get the certificate from them. Any one of others can copy your certificate and claim that these are my skill sets, right? But in NFT based certificates, you cannot copy one certificate because they are registered on a technology, on blockchain. So if your certificate is not registered on blockchain, that means you have copied the work. Right? So this increases the credibility of person who has built those particular skills. So this is everything you need to know about how are we tackling this problem differently. We are not doing anything different, but we are doing the same thing differently. Right. So this is what we have researched and we have worked on since 9 months. Our app is also live on Play Store. You can search for it, but still under construction. Rest. The very first thing you should go through is the project Vishwakarma. Like that is the very foundational project one should go through. Because without that you cannot really start your journey. You cannot really start your journey of building startups, right? And Nivas will come on stage and introduce you to the project Vishwakarma and everything else. He will also provide you the AI talk. AI talk is something where you get to know what are the real business ideas, what are the real startup ideas like building AI ideas, selling them to the small and medium enterprises, like using the technologies to build the AI ideas and how can you actually survive in this AI space is something that Nivas provides. So Nivas, your call.